Imagine a world in which you get to work in your dream job and you get paid really well for it. How easy would it be to get up in the morning? And now imagine a world in which the vast majority of people go to work inspired and return home fulfilled. Imagine a world in which you get to create great products that transform lives. Imagine a world in which you get to grow, stretch, and develop yourself to your full potential. What kind of world is this? Purpose-led companies make this sort of world a reality. Think about Google. Think about Apple. Both great examples of purpose-led businesses. Purpose-led companies start from the inside out. They start with why. Why are we here? Everything they do starts with why. The decisions they make start with why. The way they communicate starts with why. And when we say why, what we're really saying is, what is our purpose? Purpose becomes embedded in the very fabric of the business, from the environment right through to the way that we reward and recognise people. Purpose becomes what they're known for. But purpose is more than a statement on a poster. Purpose is there to inspire the hearts and minds. I'll now play you a video that's been watched by 28 million people. 28 million people have watched this video. And you'll hear Simon Sinek talk about how great leaders and great companies inspire by starting with why. What do you think about that? Sounds pretty easy, doesn't it? Let me share with you a story about how Sportsbet came up with its why. So back in 2012, the senior leadership team got together to discuss Sportsbet's why. What's our reason for being? What are we trying to create here at Sportsbet? But starting from the insides out, actually a lot harder than it looks. There was much blood, sweat and tears as the executive team got together for a few days to thrash about and think, what is Sportsbet's why going to be? And for those of you that know us, you'd know that when we're under a bit of pressure and under a bit of stress, we have a tendency to revert to red behaviour. So those sort of perfectionistic, oppositional and competitive traits, they're on full display for a few days there. And in gambling, it's arguably even more challenging. I mean, are we there just to make money, or is there some other greater good? Sure, there are many negative effects of gambling, but there's also several positive effects of gambling too that are perhaps less well known. As you know, the answer we landed on is to add excitement to life. Internally, this unites all of our teams towards this common goal. And externally, it sends a positive message to our customers about what we stand for. But more than that, it provides us our inspiration, what we're aiming for. It sends a positive message to society, it's credible, and it's a simple, positive and aspirational purpose. I'll play you a little audio clip now of one of our customer service agents who was really adding excitement to life to one of our customers.
Hello. Hello, is that Katrina? Speaking. It's Annabelle calling from sportsbet.com.au today. Good, how are you? I'm well, thank you. I'm not sure if you've had a bit of a look or not, or whether you're aware, but you were the AFL winner for this round of the tipping. Are you kidding me? No, I'm not. Oh my God! That's so good! It is, so there's $10,000 sitting in your account. Oh my God! Oh my God, that's awesome! It's pretty amazing, I must say. Oh shit! Congratulations! Oh my God, that's fantastic! Oh shit! That's great! Yeah, it's awesome. Good work. Good tipping. Going to hyperventilate. Wow! Wow! That's so cool! So those funds are in your account, in your Sportsbet account, and you can withdraw those back to your bank account if you wish. Oh my God! You're so cool! you're the one that's done the perfect round. I haven't done anything. Oh my God! I love it! Oh, that's so cool! That's so cool! Yes! Thank you so much. That's okay. Oh my God, that's so cool. Thank you. That's okay. Have a lovely day. Oh, you got the best job. That's awesome. Yeah. It does make the day a bit better, that's for sure. Oh, that is so fantastic. Thank you. That's okay. Okay. Have a lovely day. Okay, bye.
I get tears in my eyes every time I listen to that. As you know, we recently made a small change to our purpose. We've replaced the word add with bring. It's a subtle distinction, but it's one that wasn't made lightly. You don't need to tell your children how to bring excitement to life in a party, but how do you bring excitement to life? How do you bring excitement to life at Sportsbet? What I love about Sportsbet is a sense of fun. I love the cheeky stunts. Hands up if you remember the Christ Redeemer stunt a couple of years ago. Or the rooting for Oz stunt in the paddock. I mean, how good were they? I also love the sense of achievement at Sportsbet. I'm a competitive beast, and there's nothing better than beating William Hill, beating Tab, or beating Crown. Apart from maybe doing more push-ups than Simon Noonan.
Replay now?
I also love the opportunity Sportsbet gives me, and all of you here, to learn, stretch and grow. I mean, how good is this stadium space? How many companies in Australia would devote this much prime real estate to people's learning and development? What is your own purpose? So for a long period of time, my purpose was to get shit done. It's pretty catchy, isn't it? Before I started at Sportsbet in 2011, I was a reasonably successful executive. I've lived and worked in 5 wonderful cities over the last 15 years, in London, in New York, in Beijing, in Shanghai, and of course Melbourne. I'd worked in large multinational companies and also small joint venture businesses. By the time I arrived in Sportsbet, I thought, oh, I've done all right so far, I've got this purpose thing down pat. Or rather, I thought to myself, look, everything's working out so far, why do I have to worry about a purpose for myself? But as a leadership team in 2012, we asked ourselves the question, if we want to build one of the best e-commerce businesses in Australia, not only do we need to define Sportsbet's purpose, we also need to define what our own individual purpose is. So I did a bunch of leadership diagnostics, as did several other leaders at Sportsbet, with companies like Korn Ferry, DDI, Human Synergistics. I hired an executive coach as well. And what that experience has showed me is got me to focus on certain behaviours and how those behaviours impacted other individuals. So what did they reveal? Well, on the positive side, it said, you know, fairly results focused, commercially savvy, hungry for success. But hey, I'm COO, you'd kind of want that, wouldn't you? On the negative side though, there's a bunch of things I need to improve upon. My time in Asia taught me that I don't trust people enough. But more than that, I'm sort of too task focused and not people focused enough. And for those of you that have seen me in a restaurant, you'll see that behaviour. I'm sort of about, where's the menu, let me order, where's my drink, where's the food, kind of no time for any chit chat. And if I don't stop myself, I bring that behaviour into the workplace. There's a role for that, but the risk is that I unwittingly alienate people or burn them out. Look, it's an honest mistake, but it happens. So over the journey, I've tried to be less task and more people-focused. But the bigger question is, what sort of leader do I want to be? What is my purpose? What's my leadership role at Sportsbet? And the answer I landed on is to have authentic conversations that unleash the potential in individuals. So to back that up, I've done an executive coaching course. I'm now a level 2 certified coach. I'm coaching 2 individuals at Sportsbet every single month. I'm mentoring people from outside of Sportsbet. And I try and bring an a coaching flavour to my one-to-ones and my team meetings. But if you want to improve yourself, I find the best way to improve yourself is to look to best practice. And for me, looking to best practice is going to Silicon Valley. As many of you know, the senior leadership team went to Silicon Valley earlier in the year. And we go there because we want to get a glimpse into the future of e-commerce. We want to see what best practice looks like. We want to know how some of the best companies in the world are run. It's my 3rd time to Silicon Valley with Sportsbet. And each time I come away inspired by the creativity, the innovation and the passion of the entrepreneurs and the companies that we meet up with. So just a couple of examples. The language they use, entrepreneurs use when they're thinking big. When they think big, they don't ask, how can I grow my business by 20%? They're saying, how can I grow it by 10x? They're also so customer obsessed. So one CEO told us, protect what's sacred to the customer, but change everything else. Or be prepared to change everything else. But the biggest thing about Silicon Valley companies is their purpose. They have incredibly broad purpose statements. Take Facebook, for example. Facebook wants to connect the world. Today it has 2 billion customers, but it wants to connect all 6 billion customers in the world. And they have an amazing initiative in third world countries where they've partnered with telcos to bring internet connectivity to the world's poorest people. Now, this initiative is not without its controversy. I mean, is this sort of self-interest dressed up as philanthropy? But the one thing that you can't dispute is the audaciousness of the goal of connecting the world's population to the internet. Take another example, Airbnb. Airbnb have a purpose that you can belong anywhere. They're about creating a home in which you can belong. They're tapping into that innate desire that you can feel welcome, respected and appreciated no matter who you are or where you are. When we walked into Airbnb's head office in San Francisco, you get a sense of this community and this passion for design as soon as you walk in. The security guards waving to you, hey guys, how are you? I mean, since when do security guards do that? The staff there are basically hosts. They're offering you one of 30 different beers that are on tap as you walk in there. And the staff live and breathe this value of being a good host. And being a good host connects right up to their purpose and to their customer proposition. If you're a great host, you can belong anywhere. But the company that has the best purpose going around is SpaceX. Super cool and ambitious purpose. SpaceX wants to make the world a multi-planetary species. SpaceX wants to colonize Mars. And Elon Musk, who founded SpaceX, thinks he can do this by bringing the best of Silicon Valley techniques, sort of lean startup, small collaborative teams, devolved decision-making, into aerospace sector. And he's going to drive down the cost of access to space by 100x. None of this small 10x rubbish, by 100x. The other thing about Silicon Valley companies is that they attract and reward and protect and grow their talent. And as we do at Sportsbet as well. So in the 5 years that I've been here, we've grown our talent from 150 to sort of 700 odd people. We have recruited from some of the best digital businesses in Melbourne. We've certainly taken our share from the banks, mainly ANZ. The one place we haven't hired from, though, are our competitors. And why not? Because they don't believe what we believe. Take an example of one type of role set, our data scientists. A data scientist, we've hired a neuroscientist. What do we want a neuroscientist? We've hired a neuroscientist to be a data scientist. We've hired a chemist who's sitting over there. We've hired a doctor of machine learning. We've hired an econometrician. Who knows what an econometrician is? We've hired mathematicians, statisticians. But more than that, Sportsbet wouldn't be where it is today without all of you here. And all of the people that are still working in the office have contributed to where we are today. And where are we today? We're Australia's leading online sports betting company. We're ahead of TAB, who had a 50-year head start. We're increasingly recognised as one of Australia's best e-commerce businesses. And if we were listed on the stock exchange independently, we'd be one of Australia's top 50 listed companies. But our goal is to make sure that when people look back at their time at Sportsbet, they think, wow, that's the place that I grew the most, that's the place that I developed the most, and that's the place that I brought the most excitement to my career. And my role as a leader at Sportsbet is to create a really clear purpose, a purpose that inspires, a purpose that aligns, and a purpose that empowers people so that objective becomes a reality. Thank you.